Good morning. How are we doing this morning? Welcome in. Welcome to the walk. To the journey. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you, everyone, for stopping in. Please, as you stop in, drop down below where you're checking in from. What time it is, where you are, what's going on with you today. How you doing, man? Thank you so much for being a part of today's walk and talk, for being a part of this session. Good morning indeed. We are walking through the neighborhood. The sun is up. Let's get ready, let's get going. Let's do our thing. Remember, we cannot fake making moves. We must make those moves. It must be real. We must do those things. It is 4:40 in the morning. How's everyone doing today? Let's fix this light. There we go. What's going on this morning, people? It is warm here today. Let's get up, let's get at it, let's get started. Let's do our thing. Let's make sure we're focusing on becoming stronger, more powerful, understanding our purpose, proceeding to the mountaintop, people. Being swift. Good morning. What's going on? I'm good. How you doing, Lucky Bra? Good to see you this morning. This morning, it's on you guys. It's Millionaire Moves for the Masses. Starts with intention. Starts early. That's one of the first things that you have to know, is it starts early. We got to get up and we have to be on a schedule. We have to get things done. What are you doing to make your millions happen? A million doesn't mean what it used to. Talk about inflation. $1 million. $1 million is a minimum now. We're not talking about being rich with $1 million. Shoot, if you buy a house for $500,000, you don't pay 1.2 for the house. $1 million doesn't make you rich. Getting to $1 million isn't rich anymore. But millionaires, multiple millions, now we're saying something. How do we get there? Where do we start from? We waiting on a lottery? Or are we prepared to do the work? Most people with millions came from generations of work being done. And for those who didn't get their millions, these millionaire moves for the masses that starts with getting up early. When I tell you that the million is the minimum, we got to get there. We have to get there sooner. We have to figure out who we need to be to get there. It's going to start to become commonplace to see somebody make $1 million. It's fairly commonplace where I live now for many of the people in this area to be millionaires, right? Just the area, the type of work that they do, right? So it's not about making $1 million in a year. It's about being able to amass that $1 million at any point in your lifetime. But when it comes to taxes, which is how most people count it, you become a millionaire pretty early. I think a millionaire and the tax bracket now is like 140, something like that. 120, 140. But we're up this morning and we're going to talk about how we create a legacy and make these millionaire moves permanent to last our whole life. What do we have there? Marley Jane, good morning. Brianna can't read the clock. All right. It's hot already. It is hot. I am headed on a walk. I am always walking into my future, as I say. Do these morning walk and talks. It started, for those of you who are familiar with me, you know, I do these walks in the morning. They just started as a way for me to clear my head and get ready for the day, making sure that I'm grounded and sound in what I want to do for the day. And then they've grown. I started to add this live element to it, and it's grown some, and there's an audience to join, and I appreciate having you guys here. We are doing just the millionaire moves for the masses, guys. Just some thoughts this morning on how to build who we want to be. Lucky said yesterday's information was much needed in my life. It's me. Oh, that was just me. Lucky said, what's temperature right now? I'm cooked here, 42. Are you in Canada, Lucky? It says 70 degrees, but it is humid. You may see some of me coming through this shirt and sweat shortly. The humidity is real. So, what are millionaire moves? Well, as we move forward, right, there are certain things that were created. I always talk about, or I quite often talk about the fact that the first LLC in the United States was created, in India, okay. That's 42 degrees Celsius. Woo, lucky. It's in the evening though over there, right? Isn't it somewhere around 2 or 3 p.m.? So when we talk about making millionaire moves for the masses, and we talk about working with intention, getting up, doing what we need to do. It has to start with us. It has to start with our life. It has to start with us understanding that the work that we do on us is going to be paramount. It's going to be important. We're going to have to do it. It's not something we can sit back and hope that at some point it gets right. Yeah, that's what I said, Celsius. So this is where we're going to have to take the ownership of who we become, what we do. Right, and so establishing an LLC, and this is what I was saying about, like, I always mention it started back in 1977, but we're gonna have to know what to do. And so, whatever life brings says you wanna establish an LLC. Well, establishing an LLC in the United States is pretty simply to establish. They've added some elements to it to kind of prevent people from, or to make it more challenging to do money laundering with the LLC. It's called BOI. It's a beneficial owners information. And so when the LLC was originally created back in 1977, purpose of the LLC at that point was, hey, we want to be able to make the profits of a sole proprietor, maintain the pass-through income of a sole proprietorship of a small business, but we want the protections of a corporation. And so that's kind of how it was created. And it was simply designed to provide the company with a way of doing business where they're able to say, hey, we have limited liability. We get paid by the company. We don't own the company. So if something goes wrong, you have to sue the company. You can only get what the company has to give. You can't take everything from me. And so I'm able to take my personal money and purchase other properties or start other businesses, and you're not able to attack those businesses because they're separate from this other business. So that's how I'm able to protect my income, right? So that's kind of the genesis, what the LLC started out as. However, being an LLC, it started to be used for other things in the United States. For example, money laundering. People found out, some clever people, they were like, hey, here's some protections. Here's some things that you can do offshore. Here's how you can own this and not own this. Here's how you can get paid from this, but not have to be listed as the person who's getting paid from it. It's a way to kind of set privacy. So you can invest in an LLC, and then the LLC can say, hey, we made $80,000 this year. Here's your taxes. It's interesting because it's usually for criminal activity, and it's almost like it's a pass. It's almost like the government's like, hey, we know this laundromat didn't make $270,000 last year. Good morning, Ryan. We know this laundromat didn't make $270,000 last year, but since you paid the taxes on $270,000, we're gonna let that one slide. So those are the types of things that kind of happen where you get to a point where you understand how the LLC is being used. The reason I mention all of this about an LLC is because when you go to and you work through an LLC and you start to set things up to pay into your future, which again, this is what the focus is about. It's about paying into our future. It's about being understanding. It's about knowing how to set our money aside, not just to protect it, but to make it more powerful, right? Your money in the hands of an LLC, in the hands of a company, is more powerful than your money in your personal bank account. We'll start talking more in the future about leverage versus credit, which is a completely different thing. Leverage can allow for you to do things where credit may be limited in scope. But by establishing the LLC, this happened in 1977, things have started to change. The laws have started to change. Rules have started to change. The way the LLC is used is started to change. But it is, in my humble opinion, the best way for people to live now. It is the best way to ensure your success and generating a legacy. You don't have to become a billionaire, and you most likely will not, based on the percentages, right? They talk about the percentage of people who go to college to play sports and how many of them go pro in that particular sports. Those percentages are fairly low. Well, it's the same thing about the percentage of people who go to become millionaires and don't become millionaires. It's a very small percentage of those people as well. So what does this let us know? Well, one of the things that it lets us know is that when you have intentions on building something, you have to have patience, and you have to have a vision, and you have to understand that there are big numbers out there. But you also have to understand that you're building it for the future, right? There's the start of the journey, there's the start of the race, but you may not finish it. You understand what I'm saying? So you may not be the person who is holding the reins as you cross the finish line. But that doesn't mean that your segment of the race isn't important. And it also doesn't mean that your segment of the race should be complete drudgery. In the past, it has been that. Like in the past, to be the person to start the building for your family, to be the person who launches your family or your name and start building the legacy, in the past, it required for you to do everything. It was, if this is who you're going to be, if this is who you're going to become, if this is the vision you have for your family, you must sacrifice. You must understand that you have to do all of the dirty work. You have to do all of the difficult work. You have to go through all of the challenges in the hopes that your children will pick it up and they will care for you in the future. And your children will provide for you a future when you're, or opportunities when you're older to enjoy the things that you gave up when you were younger to create this launching point for them. Well, it doesn't have to be as challenging anymore. It's still kind of the same principle, but some of the things that have changed are the opportunity for you to get there. You can get there a lot faster now than you could in the past. There are multiple ways to be able to do it. These platforms alone give voice to people who have in the past not had one, and an opportunity to be able to grow and achieve, to be able to be a part of communities that help them. And this is just some like pretty boilerplate stuff, some pretty standard stuff that I'm sharing with you about millionaire moves for the masses. This isn't really rah-rah this morning. It's really about practical, right? That's what this morning is about, is practicality, right? We have mornings, we have days where I'll come out and I'll really, really like preach. And who's to say I won't be rah-rah a few minutes from now? But right now, what we're talking about are the practical aspects of being able to establish an understanding of the personal investment required in order to be able to achieve the level of success you envisioned for yourself. And I call them millionaire moves because these are very simple behaviors and disciplines that you must have in order to get there. If we don't have the discipline, if we don't have the ability to do what we're supposed to, when we're supposed to, things go to chaos. Again, this is why we talk constantly about arranging your day as a business, setting a schedule, living with intention, not wasting time. Now, here's why that's important. If you're working from home, and part of your focus is to spend time with the people you love as much as you can, wherever you are, however you want to. If that's a part of what you do, and then you get free time to be with those people, to enjoy time with those people, and you squander it, right? You're like, oh, I got free time. What did I need to do? And then you're like, oh, let me go do this random thing I was supposed to do. Oh, or let me go do this random thing I'm supposed to do. Or a challenge for me. Oh, I was posting something and now I'm scrolling through something. And then it's 10 shorts in, right? And I'm like, oh man, I wasn't supposed to be doing this. I gotta snap back out of it, gotta recover. And then doesn't seem like much, but that's about 5 or 6 minutes. And then I have to try to refocus. And then I may encounter that 2 or 3 times. So I find myself having wasted about an hour of the day where I could have been spending actual time with my children or my wife, or focused on my task that I need to get completed, because that time wasn't scheduled. But when I know that time is scheduled and I know I have tasks to complete, and I apply discipline and I focus on the things that need to be done during that time, when that time is complete, and this is why I say principles and purpose are power, because when I complete those things in the time frame and in the manner in which I was expecting to complete them, I now have an opportunity to go to my purpose, which is to spend time with the people I love as much as I can. So I put those things down, and then I go find those people. I go find my children. I go find my wife, right? And we don't invade their time. We don't just say, hey, I'm free, so now you need to be free. That's not what it is. It's we go, hey, I'm free, are you free, right? And then if they are, you get that. But if you're both scheduling that time, you're like, hey, this is our time. We're gonna put our stuff down. We're gonna talk. We're gonna play a game. For some people, it's just watching a show together. Maybe it's being able to enjoy lunch together. But what has to happen is, if you schedule that time, if you make sure that you have yourself scheduled to spend time with the people you love, and you make it intentional, then you don't waste that time. You don't lose that time. It's just something that, I don't know, I guess I got busy. You didn't get busy. You got distracted. And by getting distracted, the thing that you say is your purpose is being neglected. And so when we structure our time and we say, I have time for this and I have time for that, we make our time, we go do it, right? That's going to be a huge thing about developing an understanding of who we are and how to achieve and what millionaire moves are. So when millionaires go away, they go away. They can't be reached. They're like, I'm gone. It's like, well, I needed to ask you, well, somebody else at the office, you're not gonna see me for 2 weeks. But then you have to be able to, and this is the difference, guys, between building a business and building a job, right? The big difference between building a business and building a job is gonna be, when you are building a business, you can walk away from it and it'll still work while you're gone. That's what a business does. You can get out of it, right? Like, there's no Ray Kroc at McDonald's anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no Henry Ford in Ford anymore. When you build a business, you can walk away from that business and that business will still make money and you still benefit from it. That's putting your money to work for you. That's completely different from buying a job, where you start a business, but you're the face, you're the name, you're the brand, and no one can do it like you do it, because you haven't set up a system for people to be able to repeat and support your customers or provide your services. And as you do these things, you start to figure out, well, I can't do, the whole purpose of me starting this business was to be able to spend more time with my family and to be able to earn at a higher level, but I can't do what I want to do because now I have more stresses than I've ever had before. I have more concerns than I've ever had before. I have more responsibilities. I have more things to do, because in an attempt to build this business, I have to overcome all of these challenges. While I'm building this business, I have to also keep in mind the different people who I need to support and the different ways in which I need to be of value. So what do we do there? We have to understand that building a business includes building a system that can support the business when you're not there. Because if you are the business, if you are the brand, you have to be able to make money because your time is limited. You can't only be available to provide services and only available to make money when you're working, because in that situation, you may be making more money, but is it worth the additional headaches? Because when you build your own business, You no longer have a company that's providing you with a 401k. You now have to provide the 401k for yourself and your family, and you have to provide the opportunities for your employees. You have to do the payroll taxes. You have to take all of these things on. And for so many businesses, for so many small family-owned businesses, they take on so much responsibility that they never truly get to benefit from or appreciate the benefits of owning the business, right? So it becomes, man, I can't afford to do that. Well, you can't afford not to. You can't afford not to, because once you develop a system and once you understand how bringing people into the business, having people work for the business and provide you support is going to grow your business. It's going to give you that thing that you're looking for, which is that opportunity to be with your family, to spend time with the people who are important to you when you want to, wherever you want to, and as much time as you would like to. These are millionaire moves, people. So millionaire moves are simple, they're disciplined, they are pragmatic, they are understanding that there is a goal, there is an objective, there is somewhere we're trying to get to, and that we have to actually work to get there. These are not situations where we're sitting around and we're like, hey, let's just see what happens. It doesn't come from chaos. It comes from an organized series of steps, understanding of the work that we're doing and why we're doing that work. And that's going to be important for all of us. It's going to be important for us all to understand that as we continue to do the work, that's the work on us in order to grow our legacy, understanding the power of principles and purpose, that we know that if we want to be able to enjoy it, we're going to at some point need to step away from it. This is what millionaires do. This is why millionaires have so many people around them. It's like, you have a personal assistant? I do have a personal assistant, because I have this person who I can hand these tasks off to, these things that are in my mind that I've been thinking of, or things that I would like to change or need to be done, and then I can give that to them. They can task that out to the people who are most skilled to do it, and then I can continue on with my life. If you want to build an app, there are so many moving elements to building the app. You can sit down and you can do it yourself, and if you don't know how to do it, you can learn it. You can sit down. They offer free courses on how to learn it. Most of the platforms are free for you to be able to get involved with. Some of them may require for you to get some licensing or a developer's license. But for the most part, you can just go out and start creating apps. And then once you start creating these apps, you can test them, or you can let somebody who has that skill already know what your idea is, and just tell them, hey, do this, do this, do this. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Figure out what your investment point is. Separate it out. Put money into it. Build this app, have this app launched. And now this app, and apps are one of the best ways to make money. And simply on having the different levels of the apps where, hey, this app is free. You get to use these parts of the app for free, but for a higher level of productivity and for a greater level of return, you can do these other things. You can pay a little bit more and you get these other areas of support as well. And then you get this subscription. You get this monthly subscription that comes in and generates revenue. A lot of people can create apps, but the reason that I mentioned the apps is because if you don't know how to write the code, and that's not what you do, we no longer live in a space where we have to go out and learn how to do it in order to get the money from it. We now live in a space where there are people who that is their trade, and you can go to them and literally for pennies on the dollar, give them, I need this, and they just cut it and paste it because it's already been written. It's already been designed. People are already doing so much of it that you don't have to write out most of what it is. most of what the user interface is. And this is this way for a lot of things. If you have a book idea, you no longer need to be the person to sit down. You don't have to go out and buy a typewriter. You don't have to type 130 words a minute. You can dictate most of your book. And then you have people whose job it is to read it, to edit it, to let you know where you should make changes, what areas require some additional information or some additional attention. These things are fairly simple and straightforward. And I'm sharing you all of this morning, guys, because Millionaire Moves for the Masses starts with intention. It starts with understanding that we need to set our life up like a business. We need to segment our time. We need to figure out what we're supposed to be doing, when we're supposed to be doing it, and we get it done. The benefit is when we schedule our time, we find that we have more free time. And then when we're intentional with our free time, we spend it with the people we want to, where we want to, doing what we want. That's what's important, people. It's very important to understand how to establish and know what your purpose is. And when you live by principles and purpose, you become very powerful, very powerful. So, Millionaire Moves for the Masses. This morning, people, what we covered, good morning, Putty Cat. I need people for many of the things you are mentioning. AI can do most of this faster. AI can do a lot of this. For a lot of the things that you're looking to get done, there's a lot of AI tools that are capable, they're available to you, they're at your fingertips, and they offer support. But it's also important to build a team. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you have to use AI, but I do know in order for you to get some places, you're gonna need a network and you're gonna need a team, especially if you want your business to be a business and not a job. At some point, you're gonna need some people. So that's very true though. For a lot of things, AI can do it for you. You can ask AI about, if you want to, you can go to ask AI and be like, hey, what would be a great type of app? What type of app is needed right now? Of all of the markets that are out there, and what app is needed? What's missing from those apps that I can attack? Like, there are things that you can do. You can definitely speak directly to AI to help you come up with the idea. And then you can ask it how to write it. And you can, like part of the knowledge that you're gonna need, this is why I say working on yourself is more important than working on your job, or working on yourself. You need to work on yourself as hard as you work on your job, or harder, is because when you work on yourself, you figure the things out, like what questions to ask. And questions are important because to achieve, we need to be asking questions to make sure we're getting the right answers. Once again, guys, Moloropo Bird, thank you so much for checking in. As you know, this is our walk and talk. It happens every morning, except for Sundays now. I'm no longer doing Sunday mornings, but every other morning of the week, I'll be here between this time, between 4:30 and 5:30. I want to appreciate you for being here and being a part. As always, guys, keep in mind that in order for us to achieve our goals and continue to grow, we have to keep showing up, we have to keep blowing up, and then we'll keep growing up. All right, guys, take care. God bless.